NichBoy and welcome to Pocket, and today I'm joined by Ben Penrose, who is the art director for Forza Horizon 3. Ben, thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
Sorry,
it's nice to be here. That's all right. I don't mind a bit of bodily contact. It's okay.
Good to know. Now, we were talking just before this that this is actually the second time you've come to Australia for the Horizon series. Was setting this game in Australia just a bullshit excuse to get a holiday?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good perk, isn't it?
It's a good country.
Yeah, it's a great country. But there are other serious reasons.
But give me two of those reasons.
Okay, so the number one reason is the incredible amount of diversity you have in this country.
I was just like, you are making this up. As you go, don't say holiday, don't say holiday. The incredible amount of, terrain?
So, a couple of things. Visually, because I work on the art department, we wanted something that had all these different visual palettes that we could pull from when we made the game. We wanted to have all these radically different looking areas of the game world. So we looked at a whole bunch of different locations, and we actually scored them out of 10. And Australia came out top of the pile for that reason.
What was at the bottom of the pile?
Do you know, I can't even remember.
Saudi Arabia or something where it's just one look.
It was
England was pretty shit.
Or something.
Antarctica, yeah, Antarctica. You can't put a racing game in Antarctica.
But we, as well as that, we actually allow people to drive along the beaches for the first time. You can drive into the surf and through riverbeds and 4x4s, or a supercar if you really feel the want and need to do that.
Yep.
But we've got the Outback in there as well. We've got Surfers Paradise from the Gold Coast, which obviously you guys already know about.
We do know about Surfers Paradise, and we prefer to forget it.
We've got some of your amazing rainforests in there as well.
So obviously there's a heap of reasons here, and I've seen a map of Australia in the game.
Yep.
But I guess my question is, have you ever seen a map of Australia? Because I don't know what's going on there.
So. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
So yes,
isn't it?
we have seen maps of Australia many times. It is a huge country, and obviously we cannot recreate Australia one-to-one. That would be a hell of an undertaking that would take a lot longer than 2 years. So we want to make a game world hits all the sort of visual points of Australia that we wanted to bring to the player. So we want Australians and foreigners alike to be able to drive around there and go, I know that place, or I recognise that place.
This is also the first Forza game that's This is the first Horizon game that's coming to PC.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
What kind of challenges, if any, popped up in that?
So it was the first time that we'd ever developed for PC at the same time. So there were a whole heap of new challenges that we had to account for. But in all seriousness, it was something that we knew we were going to do right from the beginning. So it was part of the plan in that sense. And actually, it ended up being a fairly smooth process. A lot of that was thanks to the hard work that the Turn 10 guys had done, bringing Apex to the PC.
Yeah.
So that was obviously the first Forza experience that was available on Windows 10.
A cheeky tire in the water just to test.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we benefited massively from that.
Piggybacking off their work, you could even say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've also got some fictional vehicles in the game. You've got warthogs from Halo. Is there anything else that, any other series that you were like, I want to put that in there? Like something from, I don't know, like Mad Max or something, but Warner own it?
So we've got some homages to things
the Batmobile?
To Mad Max.
Famous Australian car?
We've got some famous Australian cars, for sure. So we couldn't go to Australia and not represent some Australian car culture.
Yeah.
So we knew
Herbie the Love Bug, a Mini. These are all Australian vehicles.
For sure. Got some Holden.
Yep, right. Okay. Give me some types of Holdens.
Okay, so we've got the Maloo.
Never heard of it, but okay.
We've got the Sandman in there as well.
There's a car called the Sandman.
Iconic. Really? Holden Ute, yes.
I feel like I'm the wrong person for this interview.
But then we've also got some of the we have actually got the very last Ford production ute in there as well.
Oh wow!
So yeah, we've tried to properly represent some proper Aussie car culture in there.
And as the art director, there's actually a huge amount of responsibility on you because these games are so realistic looking, and when it comes to cars, I know people are so, rightfully pedantic about getting the look right. What is the process for you perfecting? Is it photography that you're then mapping onto things? Like how much work goes into recreating that?
So with the cars specifically, we use a whole combination of different techniques. We use laser scanning. We use really extensive amounts of photographic research as well. So there's a guy at the studio who has the awful, terrible job of being flown out to Italy every so often to photograph the latest Lamborghini, for example. And then he comes in and tells us, how early you have to get up for the flight.
How good the pizza is.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a really good relationship with all of the manufacturers that are represented in the game, and they're always keeping us up to date with what's going to be coming out next, so that we can make sure we've got all the best research material possible to recreate it in game.
Well, I think it looks amazing, and the game was announced at E3 this year. You were actually sitting next to some Australian media.
I was sat next to some of your guys, actually.
Yeah, so on a scale of 1 to these guys the total worst, how annoying were they?
What was brilliant was I obviously knew what was coming, and they were all sat right next to me, and I'd met them before after the launch of 2, and I actually think we'd had a conversation jokingly where they'd said, make sure you set the next one in Australia. Yeah. And of course, I'd gone back and gone, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm sat next to them, and they said to me, are you going to be talking about Horizon today? I was like, maybe.
Maybe.
And of course, as soon as that kangaroo turned up in the trailer.
Yeah. We knew. We recognised those things from a mile.
Well, so everybody was like, oh, it's Australia, but what's this game? And then the Lamborghini turns up and they just lost it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That must be very exciting. I hope one day to reveal a game at E3. I have polled the office for some features that we would like in the game as well. We'd like a big thing, and by big thing I mean like a big pineapple, a big prawn, a big banana, a big merino. Are you familiar with our big culture?
I'm very familiar with your big culture, and we may have already crossed that one off the list.
Oh my god!
So if you look long enough, you will probably find a giant fiberglass banana in the game.
Yes! Oh, that is the best news. Is there going to be a harbour bridge? And judging by how you've worked the map, maybe just in the middle of the desert?
Who knows?
That's a yes as well. Classic Australian radio. We want bogans and ex-reality show losers to host.
So we have got some genuine Australian representation in our new radio station offerings.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not Carl Sandland, is it?
No.
Do you even know who that is?
No.
He's a bad man. That's who he is.
Okay.
Hopefully, there are some shit roads, particularly around New South Wales. New South Wales is a state.
Do you know what?
You're currently in.
I think the shit roads actually got crossed off the list.
Really?
Yeah,
wait, as in we're not including it, or yes, the shit roads are already there?
No, as in I think we decided not to put the terrible roads in the game.
Only good roads.
We only put good roads in.
Yeah, right. Okay, damn it. What's the most Australian car in the game? Is it like a lowered ute with 30 antennas?
That's a good question. I don't know. What's the most Australian car we have in the game?
Yeah, you made the game.
Yeah.
So.
The Sandman?
The Sandman.
That's probably a good answer, actually.
I mean, it has to be, considering me, the Australian, has never heard of a Sandman.
So we actually, when we got the, because they're quite hard to track down now. To get the research photography for, like I was saying before.
Is it like a vintage thing?
Yeah. We actually got one of the guys out in Australia researching a different car. I can't remember which one it was, but he was about to get the flight back, and then they got the call to say they'd tracked down one of these cars.
Yeah.
So he actually cancelled the flight while he was at the airport and made his way back out into the middle of Australia to get the research photography for this car.
And then Joe, who is one of the writers here, specifically would like to know if you can drive in the water, preferably surf waves.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
I'm not talking just like that shallow.
No.
Like I want to catch a wave.
If you want to submerge your car,
yes,
you can go for it.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably not the best idea if you want to win the race.
No. Now, these were my questions and the office questions, but obviously I'm acting as a conduit for all of Australia. So I polled Australia for more questions from the audience, and they had these ones. So the first one comes in from Ben Jackson, who says, did you actually get Australians to do the Australian voices?
We did, absolutely. So you have a car expert who looks after you in the game and sort of gives you all the knowledge that you would need to know about.
Talks through all the bits.
Exactly, yeah. And he is voice acted by a genuine Australian.
Right. And NichBoy wants to follow that up with, why didn't you ask me?
We didn't have your number.
That's probably a good point. Pippin wants to know, how important is the soundtrack for a racing game, considering the trailer had such an impact with the matchup of the music and the visual? That song, by the way, just went on to instant repeat for me for like 2 weeks. Incredible.
Yeah, it was making people well up in the auditorium.
You sung it, I assume.
Well, yes, yeah. So you know about my amazing music career.
Your second career.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
How music in a racing game? Like, is this something that a lot of time and effort goes into?
Yeah, so actually there was a big initiative with this particular game. So we've always had these sort of wealth of radio stations that are on offer that you can tune into and listen to different genres of music. And like I was saying, we've got more than we've had before, and we've also got some Australian representation in this time. But we've also got a brand new feature, which I hope people are going to love, which allows you to use the Groove music radio station in the game, which allows you to put your own music collection onto your OneDrive.
Yeah, cool.
In Windows 10, and then you can stream it straight into the game.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
a sort of custom-made radio station, so you can listen to, Bohemian Rhapsody if you really wanted to.
That is what I want to listen to. Does it sound like it's coming out of terrible speakers?
It sounds like it's your.
Sounds
your
like it's in
radio.
the car. Yeah, that's
obviously.
what I want. Cringeworthy. What? That's someone's name. I wasn't describing your performance today. What, if any, sort of leap were you wanting to make in the same vein as Horizon 1 to 2?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, he's pretty good, actually.
Quite general.
Yeah. Maybe a little too general, cringeworthy, but
so we've made a whole bunch of what I would consider to be sort of significant leaps with the third. So one of the big things we've done this time is we completely overhauled the way we represent our lighting and sky system in the game. So we custom built this ridiculous camera rig back at the studio, which had 3 of these 4K cameras strapped to this metal piece of tripod machinery, which we actually got the guys back at the UK to like machine at some of the local shops in the UK, and then we shipped it out to Australia, and we had a bunch of guys camp out in the outback, taking photographs of the sky for like every second for the entire summer, recording like day-night cycles in Australia, so that we could then put these real-world day-night cycle skyscapes back into the game, and
That's
then
awesome.
use them as a light source, which is a pretty awesome sort of change from anything we've ever done before.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great idea. And now you've built that thing, you're going to need to find another use for it as well.
Well, so here's the thing, it's still in Australia. We need to get that back at some point.
We need that here. What we need. We needed some skyboxes in here. And then Cringe also followed up with, what challenges does designing a Horizon game throw at you that the Motorsport series doesn't, and vice versa? Like you as an art director, or more broadly speaking?
Well, I think that it's a completely different experience, right? And it's very much about exploring the open world and doing all the things that you would fantasize about doing in a car that you maybe would never have the opportunity to do so in real life.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah. You don't see too much backseat action in the professional Forza series.
So yeah, I think that's the difference, right? Whereas Motorsport is all about that kind of on-track experience.
Yeah.
Horizon is more about laid-back fun with your friends and that kind of sort of multiplayer, sort of chill out, eating popcorn, looking at cool cars, driving around with a more relaxed type of thing.
You're the cooler team. That's what you are. You're the popcorn.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Dino Skell wants to know, will there be upgrades to the car in the form of like rhubars or something? Things you can really kill wildlife.
So we have completely overhauled customization this time. We've gone to the nines with it. We've included rhubars, for example.
Yeah.
You can put roof racks on your cars. You can put off-road kits on it. You've got wide body kits for the first time ever in a Forza game. So we've got Liberty Walk and Rocket Bunny are represented. I don't know if you.
No, I don't even know if they were words.
Well, go Google this stuff. It's
cool.
Pretty. I mean, people actually in the real world will go out, buy a Ferrari, and then strap body kits to it to make it look even more ridiculous.
You crazy people.
And you can do that in the game now. So
can you get really Australian and put racist stickers on the back window?
You can put stickers all over your car.
You can?
Yeah.
The man has an answer for everything. And then finally, Nick Kirby says, if you hit a kangaroo in the game, does it completely write off your car like in real life?
So I mean, you can try your best to hit a kangaroo and see what happens.
Right, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get macabre here at the end of the interview, but they generally just stick in the front of the bonnet and then you drive around with a bleeding headless kangaroo.
I can't say as I've ever hit a kangaroo.
Right, okay.
So I've never had that experience.
Yeah, I reckon it's in there though, because you guys are the cool team. That's the kind of thing you do. All right, Ben, well, thank you very much for joining me. The game comes out very shortly.
Yeah, so it's September 27th.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you very much and good luck with everything.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.
We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Cool.
We're done.